ring light. I never loved this one, and I'm trying to decide if I should get like a setup. I forgot to turn on my do not disturb, so stand by. We're gonna just do that. Do not disturb. Boop, boop. There we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for people to get on. I am a little bit early, and it's because I have to be somewhere at 9:30, which is in an hour and 15 minutes. So we're gonna do quick makeup today, but it is February, and Saint is doing something. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but it is good. And I'm so excited. My stuff does come today. Hello, Lisa. And I'm excited to see this stuff in my hot little hands so I can create something for you guys to share it. If you aren't on my email list, message me. We can get you on there. You have to be listed as my customer to be on there. And yeah. But today is Monday, and I'm one of the weird ones. Monday's my favorite day. Everybody leaves. It's a day where I get to catch up on the house because everybody lives like there's the cleaning fairy, and here I am. And so today, massive laundry. But, oh, it's been a productive week. I'm doing so many extra things that isn't makeup. I'm so excited about it. But I did finally order more powder that's going to be here today. I need it. I need it. Okay, we're going to get started. I'm going to get my under eye cream on. We're going to do a nice warm burgundy. And then we're going to use, I would consider a Valentine's month staple of chocolate. And so, hello, Pam. How are you? I am on here a little early. Better than a little late, and I'm going to try to make a quick video. I was watching and doing some just learning new things by watching what other people do, and I wanted to talk about, because my demographic is not, it is mature women, and I wanted to talk about things with applying your makeup, not necessarily eyeshadow, but a little bit of things that help brighten and give a youthful look to makeup when you have maturing skin. One thing is get yourself a really good regimen that's for maturing skin to your skin type. That's a big one for me. I am maturing and oily, and finding a maturing oily regimen is really hard. But finding one that your skin there's finding one, and then there's finding one your skin tells you it likes. Your skin will tell you when it likes something. Okay, and you put it on at least 20 minutes before you're going to do makeup. All right. All right, we're going to dig in, put my makeup aside, and I'm going to do my eyeshadow. Where is everything? Right here. I need to order. I say this every Monday. I say this to myself every time I do my eye makeup, but I need another one of these. But getting a good prep. But one of the things that happens sometimes, not every time, because I'm one of those people where it's like they say when you start maturing, you get dry. Sometimes when you start maturing, there's a warmth that fades on your skin tone, and it feels a little flat and a little bleh. We know that feeling. And I've been getting it, and it used to be that I could overwarm myself and go full Oompa Loompa, but the older I get, the more I notice that I need it, and finding what works. And part of it is contour. Contour, everybody thinks maturing and dry. A lot of women are maturing and dry, and finding really good products that help give hydration without over oozing your face. But finding stuff that works together, it doesn't always have to be the exact same brand, but balm helps, but finding something, hello, Anne. But I've been coughing this morning. It's driving me up the dang wall. And my shoulder is killing me because of this calcific tendonitis. That feels like a mature problem too. I'm not liking it. Okay. 2 products I'm going to talk about because you can get the same result out of both. It's just a matter of what you want. If you have caramel, that's one. And if you have Santa Fe, that's the other one. They're both really similar colors. So Santa Fe or caramel. Let me open it so you can see it better. They're really flippin' close, okay? And I'm gonna show you both, one on each eye, but this is where it's a warm burgundy color. And when you have maturing skin, you should be doing touches of warmth. It's the products you put on, but the tones you put on too matter just as much. Okay, we're gonna grab, where's that brush? I just had it. I was just using it. There it is. It's right in front of my face. Okay, we're gonna do a nice little prep. I'm gonna do Pup. I used it and I forgot how much I like it that much. I mean, I'm always hitting 10. And this is gonna be my prep today. It's just a really nice neutral base. And play around with bases because sometimes using a really light color like Cupcake can mature your eyelids and it can mature. And we want to avoid that. So I'm just using Pup today. It's just more of a neutral tone. Okay. You don't have either one of those. That's okay. Because check your points. You should always check your points and see where you are. But I know that you're going to want to spend money on the 13th. I know, because I'm going to tell you to. And I'm going to tell you what you need. All right, the next color I'm going to go into is my favorite Drift. These are two, I mean, you should have a good base. Pup, Mama, Paris, Cupcake, just a good neutral base. Just powders blend best on powders. I like having that. And then I always have Drift in my palette. It's a champagne shimmer. We're just going to use this and we're going to push that onto the brow bone. Bing, bang, boom. All right, boom. Super simple. And now we can go in and dig in. I firmly believe in eyes before face and shimmer on the brow bone before you do anything else so you don't mess it up. All right, I'm gonna use a smudge brush. It's a denser brush and it works really well when you're using a pencil. So Caramel is a silk pencil, so it goes on really super smooth and then it sets. If it's a satin, it's gonna crease because it doesn't set. So you want it to have a silk, but this color is really great for mature women who just, you'll see. It's pretty. It's one of my favorites. We're going to use this as our transition shade. And this picks up really nice. This is a buildable color. Look at that. But I like a touch of warmth with my eyeshadow. And if you have a lot of, like you can see, I have quite a bit of movement on my lids. If you have a lot of movement and this just isn't for you, grab Santa Fe. And so we'll tap into Santa Fe and do the same exact placement over here. These two colors are really, really similar. This is a pressed pigment. I don't know why they call them pressed pigments. They are just like the matte finishes. I don't think they're more pigmented. They say they are, but I'm not getting that. They go on just as good as a matte. I do keep them separate so I know what I'm talking about, but they are the same. All right, so it's a matter of picking. This is also a transition color. This isn't the focal color. All right, we're gonna go into a fun color of, there's a few colors. I'm gonna give multiple choice here. You can do Baker Street. I like Baker Street. It's like Revival, which went away. So we have this Baker Street, I almost called it Revival. And then you could go into the pressed pigments and you can get, never mind, it's Baker Street. I have two Baker Streets in here. Oh, yes, okay, bam. We're gonna take it, we're gonna go into Baker Street, and I'm gonna go right here on the outer part of my lid. I just think this is a really pretty color for the month of February. Why is there an extra R? But we're gonna push this in on the outer part of our lid and then go up onto that brow bone. And they work together. Warm, cool. I love this color. It's just a good, if you're not super into pinks, go burgundy, go moody. I mean, aren't we all a little moody? Let's have our eyeshadows give a heads up. Like, hey, that's moody eyeshadow. Look out. Look out. All right. So we're just pressing that on. Super simple. And then you could go down here. This is why I like doing my eye makeup first, is because if these dark colors fall out, especially one like Baker Street, you can't, oh, honey, I don't look sad, but thanks. Thanks. That's totally necessary to say on a live. Anyway, I'm moody, but We're gonna keep this super simple. I forgot what I was saying because somebody said I look sad, and that's why I'm putting my makeup on, because I'm gonna paint myself happy for Ozzy, because Ozzy thinks that's probably what we're doing. Anyways, okay, I forgot what I was saying, but we're gonna go in, we're gonna put a shimmer on here, and then we're going to put on some liner and then our face. When you have maturing skin, the last thing you wanna do is let dark colors fall into your makeup, because it's gonna mix with it and it can make your under eyes look, we're gonna pull a weed here, because you're a weed. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so when you have fallout, it can make your under eyes look a little more darker, make your eyes look a little more inset, and can make it look a little more mature. So doing your makeup last is gonna clean that up, let you brighten as much as you want or as little as you want. And it just makes for a really nice clean finish, and it gets you where you wanna be. All right, the next color I'm gonna go into, we're gonna be using Drift again, but it's chocolate. This is a really nice shimmer color. And we're just gonna use this color and we're gonna pop that onto the lid, and we're gonna leave the inner lid alone. But this is just a nice, pretty color, but adding Drift to it is gonna lighten and brighten it up. It's gonna make it good. It's gonna make it good. So now we go into Drift right here, and then we're gonna go on that inner lid and blend it inward. Just like that. I like using my finger when I apply shimmers to my lid because it makes it a little more punchy. You see how this is more punchy than my brow bone, and it's brush to finger application. Both are great, but it just depends on what you're looking for out of your shimmer. You can add some balm to jazz it up, and we may do that at the end. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is put on a little bit of liner, and then we're gonna put on some mascara, and then we're gonna move on to our face and little tips and tricks for the maturing skin, because it's been quite the topic of conversation. I'm using Stila Stay All Day, and I should not put my elbows on my palettes. Put this on the inner lid and go into your lash line. This is a really nice fine tip. This is just gonna give your eyes some definition, and then when we put mascara on, it's gonna look like it goes all the way across. There we go. It's a subtle difference that makes a difference. Do you need it? No? Do you like it? Yes, that's all it comes down to. Okay, list all the eyeshadow colors. Okay, so I put Pup on as my base. Honestly, you probably have a ton laying around in a makeup bag somewhere. If you want to get good colors and you're not, go grab one of those and use a good base, okay? I put Drift on my brow bone with a brush so it was light, and then I used either Caramel, Silk, or Santa Fe Pressed Pigment. Pick one, whichever you want. It's your face. It's the way you want to apply your makeup, so do what you want. Then I used Baker Street on the outer corner, pressed it inward, and then we did chocolate and then Drift with our finger to punch it up. All right, now we're gonna go on this outer part. I like talking about eyeliner for maturing eyes. Doing a thick dark is just gonna weigh it down, and it's going to make your eyes look smaller. So what we're trying to do with our eyes as we mature is make them look bigger, less saggy, because from the front, no, I have no issue. But then watch as I just, you see that? This right here bothers me, so I bring my eyeshadow out onto it to give some lift to it, because I've got a mature profile. I got my little gobbler, whatever. I got my stuff, like we all do, that bug us. And do I want to work that hard? No, so I use makeup. I did see somebody go on to show a tip, and is what I've been talking about, is about putting your contour in front of your earlobe. They made it extra hard where they were like pulling their ear. I was like, you don't need to do that, but okay. Okay, but doing your eyeliner to give it a more open look, giving it a lifted look, it's all about skipping the middle with your eyeliner. And so we're gonna go over here to the outer quarter, and we're just gonna draw out. Now Stila has a really good tiny felt tip that doesn't have a lot of wiggle to it. And you're just gonna draw straight out, and this is what's gonna give that eye lift. It's not about the wing, it's about the lift. All right, and so you bring this upward. Don't really come past that corner there. Go about 1 millimeter up and meet it. And this is just gonna give some depth and then fill it in. I always tell people to not start on the lash line and build up. go above the lash line and structure it. And this right here will lift that eye. We didn't do anything, we just added a little depth, and that's it. So again, about 1/4 of the way in and going straight out to about the outer corner, coming to the outer corner and then going straight up and meeting it, then filling it in. And make sure you get in with those lashes. You can waterline if you want. It's your prerogative on if you want to do it, but this just gives that illusion that your eye has lift. And then just make sure they kind of match. I mean, they're sisters, not twins. And things happen, okay? One might look a little sharper than the other. You just gotta let it go. All right, now we're gonna find, I kind of want a waterline, but I kind of just don't want to deal with it because I'm being quick. So we're gonna skip it today just for the matter of quickness. I use 2 mascaras. I use a volumizing one. This is Lash Velvet by Saint. And then this right here is Lash Leather. This is tubing. If you have mascara that you love, but there's fallout and you hate the fallout, but you love what it does for your lashes, go get a tubing mascara and finish it, seal it with the tubing, and it won't fall out. So whatever your favorite is, that's my tip. Use whatever you want, but if it has that fallout that drives you nuts, just put a tubing over top and seal it. All right, not a hair tutorial today. I need some dry shampoo. All right, we're gonna grab this and I'm just gonna fluff my bristles because it's got a lot of product and I like it that way. We're gonna wiggle at the base and lift, and we're just building some product on the base of our natural lashes, our nice, natural, fine, thin, short lashes. So we're just building volume here, not length, but I'm lifting to avoid clumping. And we're just caking on product onto our lashes and giving the illusion of thickness, but it's just product. I need a different mirrors. There we go. Oh, there we go. Magnified. We're just building that on. And as you're building this product, you're also giving the illusion of a liner. See how I skipped the middle? Now my eyeliner I put here and here looks like it's going all the way across, and that's just the buildup of the mascara. And so you're just wiggling at the base. You're not worrying about the length and the tips. You're just worrying about building without clumping. And so you need maybe a magnifying mirror. Get yourself one. Get all up in your business and coat those lashes to build the volume. All right, then you take that tubing and we're going to seal it because Saint's Velvet will fall out. And if you have one, again, that you love that falls out, seal it with tubing. So now I'm just going over the base with the tubing to seal it. And then I'm going to come down and curl away. And this is going to coat the tips, give me that length that I'm trying to get because I have short, natural lashes. I don't do the glue-ons unless I need to. Like if I'm going to be at a swim meet and I know my kids are going to try to throw me in the pool, I'm probably going to wear some nice fakies. And you're just going to work with spreading them and putting them on. And you'll get some nice length because here it looks like I have no lashes. Here I will get the look of my lashes. All right. I do need to get new mascara though. It does dry out. I also like FanFest. This is another one that I really love. I would call that a one and done. It doesn't have a lot of fallout. I just haven't replaced it. And the closest Ulta is a little over an hour away. And I don't want to shop online and pay shipping just for one mascara. Anyways, all right, building onto the base again. Building onto the base again and just holding that mirror down so you can see if there's clumping, see the coating until you can feel it getting tacky. This might take a little long, and if this is something you don't want to deal with, then don't do it. These aren't rules. Take what you want, leave what you don't. There's no makeup artist that knows every rule is the rule. It's just whatever makes you feel your best, and doing this extra work makes me feel my best, and that's it. It's not for anybody else, despite what some people think. Our makeup is so that when I was just having this conversation with my daughter the other day, but I was like, hey, when I feel good, I feel happy. When I'm happy, everybody's happy. Ain't that the truth? Okay, then we're just gonna take what we're doing here and we're just gonna add a little bit to the lower lash line, and that's that. Now we can get started on our face. I'm gonna do a little bit of brightening, and I'm gonna show a different way of brightening that if you just feel like it's just looking a little not what you're looking for and you still have some, this is a great way to utilize it, kind of a way. All right, got your good skincare, get yourself a good primer. You can use setting spray as a primer. Just spray a brush and wipe it on nice and easy. Or you can use Milk Hydro Grip. Elf has one as well, and it's just as good. And yeah. All right. Boom. Easy peasy. All right. So if you have any questions, please let me know. If you decide you want to get color matched, I just need a makeup-free selfie in front of a window and we can get her started. Okay. Get your primer on. Let it do its thing. And I'm going to use my Saint Makeup. This is my cream-based 3D foundation. Everything in here, even these things, are foundation, not just these. And then I use my correctors, and I love them. I'm going to grab a little bit of balm, put it on my dry lips. My hands and my lips, boy. Grab some balm, put that on. I'm going to put this under my eyes. This is just going to help with crepiness. This is going to help with just natural texture of soft tissue. Good morning. Good morning, Kathy. But this is just going to work really well with my corrector because I get darkness right here. And so this is going to help with that. Okay. So sunscreen, I do and I don't. I'm not great about it because here's the thing with sunscreen. I love Supergoop. It's a really good one that works really well with it. As long as there's not any silicone in it, it'll work really well with Saint. I prefer toppers of SPF rather than unders. It does great for 2 hours, but hello, Macy. The problem is if you read any of your sunscreen, you're supposed to reapply it every 2 hours. So after 2 hours, it's just moisturizer. So I like toppers. Supergoop has a setting spray, which is great if you have dry skin. And then they have resetting powder, which is great for if you have oily skin. And these are what I prefer. They're my preference. I keep them in my swim bag. I live in Oregon, and so we don't get a lot of sun, and I know it comes through the clouds, but we don't go outside here. It's always sideways rain. It's like Forrest Gump out there. Like sometimes it comes from the bottom. So no. Should I? Probably, but I really like my skincare, so I prefer that. And then if it's going to be a sunny day, I'll set my face with Supergoop, and that works really good. But any sunscreen is supposed to be reapplied every 2 hours. So keep that in mind. All right, we're going into the correctors. I'm going to grab some Frenchie. We're going to put this under the eyes a little bit. We're going to push this up into the inner corner and out. Simple, simple. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. Do I have a preference on the toppers? You mean I like the Supergoop, if that's what are you talking about. Supergoop is my pick. Just make sure there's no silicone in it. That's what I would say. All right, grabbing that, we're just turning this a little more peach rather than a little more blue. And I've always found this to work really well. Everybody's eyes are different, and so you can use cream correctors because there's a wide variety of them. But it's all a matter of preference on what you want for your makeup. All right, the next color I'm going to go into, and I'm going to use the blend brush. This brush is so good, and I do believe it's in a collection with setting powder, but this shape brush has become my favorite over the blend brush. All right, we're going to go into the color Aspen. This is a contour. This is dense, and this is going to help with hiding pores. This is going to help with my redness from my scars. This stuff is going to disappear. And I get a touch of rosacea. Today's not a heavy rosacea day. Last week was, but for me. But if you have more of a deep purple, this color will not work. We can talk about it and we can find your color. There's other things that work too. This just really works for me and my skin, but the density also helps hold my makeup in place. We're going to take and we're going to correct my redness around my nose and of my old scarring from cystic acne. And then I have some redness that you can actually kind of see today, which is right up here. So we're just going to take it super light. So Saint is 80% pigmentation, whereas other foundations is about 20% pigmentation. So you can still see my problems, but they're not red. And that's really all I'm trying to do is dull the red. And that was kind of why I picked it. It was just something that I noticed. I was like, you know, gray might work. This was before cream correctors were out too. All right. So I thought, you know, this is dense and it might help hold my makeup in place. I mean, I'm not putting a lot on. You really don't even see it on the brush, but it does wonders for redness. And I just figured gray should totally lighten things. And so I put it around my redness and it worked. And then my makeup has longevity. Look at that. The scars are there, the red is not. Then I'm gonna go to walnut contour for the same reason. It's dense, but this is a close tone to my hyperpigmentation that's just kind of growing up. I have some here, some right out here. I do both sides the same just for balance, but these work really well with helping to camouflage hyperpigmentation by, instead of trying to spot treat the pigmentation, I'm just gonna go around it and hide it. And because it's a light application brush and a high pigment product, I'm gonna get the most out of it with the least amount of product. Just like that, it just kind of erases it and hides it. You still see a bit of it, but this is also gonna hold my makeup on. And that's what I like. Okay, now we can go in and start doing our makeup. I'm gonna use the blush and bronzer brush. I haven't used it in a while and I wanna use it because it's so good and it comes with bronzer. You can get it in a collection with bronzer. And that's for maturing skin, mature skin with that feeling like we fall a little flat. I want you to just we're gonna do the reverse method again this week. And I'm gonna show the way that you think about your contours. If you're using a really cool toned contour and you just feel like your makeup is falling flat and you need to change, I want you to use a contour that's a little more on the warmer side. Stone could be a really good one. Cedar can be a good one. I really like stone for maturing women. I'm gonna use cedar. It is much warmer than like indigo can pull hyperpigmentation through. But if you're using Astoria, henna, and you feel like you're just falling a little flat, you need a warmer contour because your skin needs that bump of warmth, but it is in summer. And so you want to use more of a contour that has a touch of warmth to it. So I'm going to use the blush and bronzer on the short end, and I'm going to go into cedar first, okay? And we're going to stamp into it. We're going to pick it up. It's not clumping my bristles together. We're just going to go where we have natural shadowing. So along the hairline and on the outer parts of the forehead, just to give some dimension. But everything Saint has in here is foundational coverage, which means we don't need to turn our face one color and then start piling and stacking. I've done that. And if I had the time to show you what I used to do, I would, but I don't have the time today. All right, so we're just taking that and we're gonna build it, but we're also giving coverage, dimension, and balance. Okay, coverage, dimension, and balance on the outside. All right, then I'm gonna go into my main shade. Don't brighten here. If you have maturing skin, I want you to use your foundation shade instead of a brightening shade. And I want you to go into the middle, and it's gonna bump up next to that contour, so it's gonna look like brightening, and it's gonna look good. It's gonna have that foundational coverage. I feel a hair on my face, but we're gonna do just that. And we got the coverage, we've got the balance, but it's natural. We still look like ourselves. This is a good coverage for your forehead. Add what you need as you need it, rather than putting too much on. You just build it up, okay? Easy peasy. But you see how cedar is a bit on the warmer side? I don't need to add bronzer. And contouring with a bronzer can sometimes pull too warm. And it's February. We're not into summer. We're barely into spring. It's Groundhog Day. Okay. So I'm going to go back in to my contour. I'm going to pinch it because I'm going to go right here on my nose. We're just going to hit the sides. Let's use our finger. It's so much easier. Just to draw two little lines on either side of the forehead. I go to the top side and I overcorrect, push it up into my brows, and then I bring it down and around just like that. And then sometimes I'll just, well, all the time, I bring it together because there's a bump right there and it bugs me. But we're just gonna blend this down with our finger. Super simple. We're gonna take our main shade, we're gonna go right down the middle, okay? And this is gonna give it some straightening, but the contrast of our main shade next to something so dark, it's still gonna give that illusion of brightening, okay? But if you have maturing skin and you're starting to get some texture, we're gonna skip the brightening and we'll do some spot treating brightening instead. And it's gonna give your skin a more youthful look, because sometimes using a color that's a little too light can create texture where there really wasn't any, okay? Going back into the contour using this brush, we're gonna go above this natural shadow here, and we're gonna tap this on. Now we have that corrector on, and so we're just gonna tap this on, nice and under blending. It's gonna look too much, and that's okay, because look at how it just lifts, and I work in an upward motion. because I want a slim. Okay, it really just depends on what you're looking for on the shape. So you have your natural shadow. We're gonna live just above it. Let your shadow shadow, and we're gonna give it a buddy. That's all this is. It's just a buddy, and so it works together. But using that extra warmth, it just starts adding some life back into your skin. Okay, now we're gonna go into that main shade again. And I'm not cleaning between colors. I've had somebody ask if that is a problem. No, it's not. Now I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna balance my skin tone in these areas here. And this is gonna blend down some of that contour, but look at how nice a good match is. This is gonna give you, if you have a proper match, that's what's key. We're not gonna try to warm up our skin with our mate. A lot of people will be like, I wanna be warm, I wanna look tan. I'm gonna use a dark foundation. Don't do that. It creates texture, and you can do that with your contour, your bronzer, and your blush. So we're just gonna add a little bit onto the apples, bringing it down and around. I should have gotten a Band-Aid. I got a boo-boo this weekend, and it really is a bugger. All right, same over here. We're just gonna balance the skin tone. And 80% pigmentation, again, means that you get a lot of really great coverage without a lot of makeup. But I'm gonna use my blush to give myself extra coverage on that scarring. But you see, I mean, that balm really just bumps up the hydration a bit, and I like that. But this works really well with maturing skin, but skipping the brightening is okay, especially if you have high texture, because your skin texture creates flecks based on where the light's hitting you. So I don't have brightening on, but I'm still getting everything I want out of it because the light's hitting on different bumps and grooves. Okay? So if you have questions, let me know. Now we're gonna move on to blush. I like doing my under eyes last, but my contour is under blended, and it's supposed to be. I get a lot, my hair is killing me. I get a lot of people asking, it just doesn't come together. You've gotta get to the end. Sometimes your eyeshadow looks terrible until the rest is on. So trust the process and get to the end. I'm gonna use that Frenchy color again, and I'm gonna go over my scarring with it. This is a really pretty blush that works with any one of the other blushes, okay? And so this is gonna help keep that scarring from pulling through by using maybe a deeper pink or whatnot. But anytime you're looking at flowers, there's always more than one color. Blush is no different, makeup is no different. Lipstick, blushes. So I'm adding this peach color to cover my scarring, and it's gonna work with my blush. I'm gonna use these two colors. I'm gonna use Nude up here. Oop, Nude up here. This is a really nice color, but I wanna have that pink tone, and I'm just gonna pop a little bit in, just like that. Easy, 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 but making sure there's that little bit of warmth. Nude is a really good color. Some people really love Plum. Plum pulls really purple and looks like a bruise on my cheek, so I just never use it. And then you're gonna take this brush, and you're going to just tap this along on this upper part, and then smile, and then hit a little bit onto that Frenchy. But you're gonna let that Frenchy peach do its magic over if you have scarring like I do. Not everybody does. But I also don't have apples when I'm resting, but I do when I'm smiling. And so I put that on where I can see my apple, so I smile. I have a hair. Oh, it's killing me. My hair is everywhere because this is second day hair. I just can't have more than, my hair's greasy. I'm just a grease ball. Okay. I just don't want to cough a lot. Now we can move on to our under eyes. I'm gonna go back to that shake brush that I was using to correct because I like the small end. And I'm gonna go into my main shade instead of the brightening. So brightening is just a little bit lighter. Going into that main shade, and we're just going to go on that orbital underneath. Okay. Which side is used for what? So for this brush, I mainly use this brush to apply things. I use this brush at the end for blending, for setting. If you feel like you over apply your makeup, this will be your magic weapon to get everything blended down. But go on with your brightening with the small end, and you're gonna go up that orbital bone and where your light reflects, grabbing a little as you go. Then we're gonna go into this inner corner, and I tap over that corrector that I put on that Frenchy color that I mixed in with that balm under my eye. And then I bring it up to my soft tissue. And this is not a brightener, but when it bumps up next to your blush, your nose contour, your eye makeup, it can look like it. But when you have maturing or mature skin, this can be a high texture area. So sticking with your main shade is probably your best option. But when I color match people, and I do this all the time, I'll say, we're gonna skip brightening. And this is what I mean. If you insist on it and you feel that it just falls a little flat, but I've said don't do it, I'm gonna show you what to do, because some people just want to and love to, and do you, okay? Do you. These are just tips and things that I find that work, and that's it, okay? So take that brightening shade. So I have white peach here. Take a little bit and just go right here. Just right there instead of a shimmer. Because a shimmer with maturing eyes can start looking gunky about halfway through the day. So just add it right there, and then you can add a little bit right here. Right here. That's it. Those are the only places I would say to do that on your under eyes. You could take a little bit and hit the tip of your nose. You could take a little bit right here on your Cupid's bow, and that's it. That's what I would recommend for if you want to skip the brightening, and that's it. All right, now we're going to set it and do the rest of it and make it super, super, super easy. I am doing really good today. I said I wanted to be quick. Oh, this hair, I need to dry shampoo it, but it's in my car. All right, I use Blue Marble. This is a big dog. They have 3 sizes on Amazon. This is a bit spendy. Get the travel size if you're looking to try it. Anytime you're trying any new product, that can be Charlotte Tilbury, that could be Blue Marble, that could be the Professionals by Benefit. They have travel sizes. Get them, keep them, and then when you travel, just refill them. It's a handy little tool. I do that all the time with my hair product. Anytime you can try a travel size, do it. Same with the Milk Hydro Grip. There is a smaller size. Try it. You're not committing to full size. All right, give it a little shake. This works like a hairspray. Spray your face, get it nice and damp. Because this is cream, it's not gonna mess it up. And then I'm gonna go into my blotting dust. My blotting dust has seen better days. There's some coming today. I'm so excited to make this next video. I overthink probably every one of my videos, but this is a for Valentine's Day video. If you are somebody that says, ugh, I hate Valentine's Day, that's okay. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I like Valentine's Day. My tummy's growing. But I don't celebrate Valentine's Day in the way that everybody, like the people that are like, Valentine's Day, buy me flowers. I don't know, we do lunch dates because we got kids, but I just think you can make anything whatever you want. Think of all the different ways people celebrate Christmas. You can do the same thing with Valentine's Day, and you can make Valentine's whatever you want it to be. If growing up it sucked, change the narrative. You're in control of your life's narrative. So do what you want to do. Do the Galentine's Day. Do something for make that your once every year massage day. Something like that. Do something to change the narrative. Because we shouldn't have a day of the year that we just hate because it's a corporate whatever with candy. Like, eat that candy. Eat that candy. All right, I'm taking the blotting dust with this big end, and I start where I have the least texture and I work down. So under eyes, I will not apply direct powder to under eye. It's going to create texture and maturity. This is if you have oily skin. Blue Marble is a great film forming setting spray. So if you feel like you get movement, pickup, understand you might be a face toucher. You might be on your phone a lot, okay? So Saint isn't doing they won't do, this is what they said, they're getting away from like site-wide sale. I don't like that. But I mean, everybody likes a site-wide sale. I don't know. They are releasing stuff. Mine comes today. And I will be sharing it as soon as I'm allowed. If you're on my email list, you'll likely get it a little bit early. But you got to be on my email list. And all you have to do is click the link in the description and create an account with me. I know a lot of people don't like that, but that's the only way to get my emails. Sorry, I don't do that for people who aren't on my customer list. All right, grabbing some more of that powder. And I like to directly apply it out here because this is where my phone hits if I take a call. I'm gonna take a call, okay? I bring it down and around, but your phone will pick up your makeup. So if you have hyperpigmentation out here, chances are you take a phone call, there's gonna be lift, and then things are gonna start pulling through. And that's not because the makeup's bad, that's because you put a phone on it and you picked it up. And then when I think it's empty, just like glitter on craft day, it's not gone, it's just in there, and then you can go over your high texture areas. And for me, it's right here in the middle. Smile lines, under eyes, the nose, and that's it. Simple, simple. And then I can go in, and this is where I'm gonna take a look and I'm gonna decide, do I want more blush? Do I need to bring it down my neck? Yes, I do. So I'm just gonna take my little short end here and we're gonna grab that main shade and we're just going to bridge the neck. Bridge the neck. You could also take the small end of the shape brush, go into your contour, and you can go right in front of your earlobe. You don't have to pull it out, but if that's what makes it easier, go ahead. And then bring it down your jawline. And this will just give you a little chisel. I mean, it's one of those little things that you don't need, but you love it. I have somebody who I do her makeup and she's like, don't forget to do that ear thing. Okay. Sure thing. You got it. Okay. I'm not really going to change anything on my eyeshadow. I am going to put my brows on because I love me some brows. I like me a boss brow. Okay. I use eyeshadow. You can use pencils. Let's use pencils today. Why not? These pencils are good. And yes, Saint will be coming out and the stuff is good. I was actually really happy with the releases that are coming out. Latte. I like Latte. It has a touch of shimmer to it, but it's not like I'm putting glitter on my brows. Okay? But this is a silk brush. So again, it goes on really smooth and then it sets. So yes, Saint will be coming out with some releases. I'm allowed to talk about it this weekend. I think on Sunday. But again, if you're on my email list, you can take a peek there. All right, we're gonna just draw a hard line. I'm gonna structure this front corner of my brow here, just bringing it down from here to the inner corner here, and then up, and doing those little hair flicks. I have no hairs on that inner corner. So this just builds that structure and gives it a little bit of a boss. All right, grabbing it again, and we're just gonna continue structuring, so just following along the natural flow of the hairs, and then I extend my tail because back in 92, we were all taught we don't need eyebrows. And so we all got rid of our eyebrows pretty much. We had this one nub and then a dash. All right, and then we're gonna come up and over. And the other thing with Saint is, I can tell you this because I shared it, they will have a gift with purchase on the 13th, which is gonna be one of my favorite summer, spring blushes and lip colors, Dahlia. It's underrated. I talk about it every summer and I love it. We're gonna take that spoolie. We're just gonna comb things up, smooth things out, pick up things, and that's it. I would never apply this with the pencil. Use the brush. You'll thank me later. Plus, it's a good way to keep these sharp. Okay, we're gonna go here. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna structure this front corner, get those little hair strokes, square it off. Flicky, 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 buildy, buildy, buildy. Easy, easy, easy. Get a mirror that's magnifying to get all up in your business, all right? And then just keep going and build that structure. And again, this is nice because unlike the eyeshadows, this will set and stay. It doesn't have the staying power as much as it would if I would have done this before my makeup, because I have a makeup layer underneath it. So it may smudge a little, not much, but I should try doing my brows first as the pencil. Maybe I will next week or this week sometime. Okay, that's it. My brows are on. I like a structured brow. It's not for everyone, and that's okay. That's okay. Do you? Okay. Hello, Victoria. Okay. Lips. I'm going to do Cocamera is supposed to be back at the end of this month, but it's such a pretty lip color. And I'm going to put it with my favorite Renaissance. My stomach is going to start growling like a monster here in a minute. I'm going to use the endpoint brush. It's great because you have an eyeliner side, you have a lip liner side. We're gonna go into this. This became my replacement when MAC discontinued Half Red. I used to talk about Half Red is it half? Yeah, it's Half Red all the time. So we're just gonna line our lips with this dark color. Don't worry, don't outer line. I keep seeing people do that. It's very popular right now, and I just can't bring myself to do it. So I just get as close to the edge as possible and just get that Cupid's bow good and lined without bumping off. And we're gonna line it. Not gonna lie, doing pencils is a little easier than a brush, but it's worth it. I love this color, and it stays, because it's dense, for so long. All right, get that lower lip, and try not to let your stomach growl. This is why I'm talking too much, to try to mask my stomach growling. All right, here we go. And then we're gonna take Cocamera, which is such a pretty neutral gelato. And I wanna talk about these colors because Valentine's Day is coming. You're gonna wanna get yourself stuff. I hate this hair. But you're gonna wanna buy stuff, and you want that free shipping. You want that gift with purchase that's gonna be coming. And these are great Valentine's colors. So if you wanna skip waiting and you don't wanna worry about getting the goodies that are coming, these are things you can get now. So Renaissance is a lip liner. Go get the chocolate eyeshadow. It goes with so many things. And go and get the Drift. They go together so good. All right, Cocamera. This is it. It's such a pretty pale pink. And it twists up slow, which I like. But it is so soft. We're going to put that in the middle. And let it mix with Renaissance. It's so pretty. It goes up, but I don't believe it goes down. The pencils go up and down, but once you push it out, you can't get it back in. But just give it a little rub, let it ombre together, and ta-da! Isn't that a pretty color? I think it is. Okay, that's my makeup. That's my makeup. It's for maturing women. I am here for the maturing women, and let's talk about it. Because our skin is changing a lot. The last year and a half, my skin has been warping into the other side of the hill. I don't know. It's definitely changing. So I've gotten all the masks I've been putting on. I'm doing everything but nip and tucking. I'm not going to nip and tuck a thing. But this has really great coverage. Makeup will always look like makeup. This looks like good makeup. And for me, it was about trying different things for the changing skin I had, and I didn't want it to make me look older. And sometimes doing too much powder can make you look older. And there's a lot of makeup out there that's powder coverage. That's gonna make your skin look flat. And you want something that has a dewy finish. So I've set with powder and I still get that dewy finish because the blotting dust has a shimmer to it. But adding a contour, if you're using Astoria and you're using henna and you just feel like it's just sitting differently, could be because your skin is changing. My skin's not what it was in my 20s. It's not what it was in my 30s. I'm 45. And so working with the skin I have is going to help me feel my best. And makeup, if makeup makes us feel our best, then that's okay. There's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with us. But I want to walk by the mirror and feel my best. I want to know when I go on my lunch date on Valentine's Day, I'm going to feel my best. And so with all that, having a contour that maybe has a little more warmth, like stone, like cedar, like olive, it really just depends on what your main shade is. I would say if you are Athens, Candlelit, White Peach, any of those lighter shades, Aura, olive. If you are Athens also, and you are also maybe sandy, I would do stone or I would do cedar. And if you're darker than that, cedar. But once you're like a woman of color and you have that beautiful, deep, rich skin, indigo. Indigo, there is a color called Cola. It's so cool toned and we don't recommend it for those really beautiful, deep skin tones. It pulls ashy and we don't want to do that. But I don't get to play with a lot of beautiful dark skin ever. I live in Oregon and I don't get to. But adding colors that have that touch of warmth is going to, it's not the makeup, it's the colors. and you can mix these contours with your traditional foundation. It doesn't have to all be all creams. If you have a cream you already like foundation, if you have a liquid foundation that you already like, I would say try these contours with it because there's such a good variety in getting those warmer contours on that aren't so warm. That's one of the things that I notice when I try a lot of brands, and there's like Dibs. I have a Dibs right here. I know they're very popular, but their contours are really warm. And this isn't, and it's just, it pulls just way too warm, and it oxidizes and it goes peachy orange on your skin. I like the milk. I have the milk contour. It is on a bit of the warm side, but and I would say if you're looking for something that you could just go get at Ulta or Sephora, milk is a really good contour stick. It's a tiny but mighty guy. Here's the thing I'm going to say about Saint, and this is one of the reasons why I'm still here. It's good makeup. It's minimal ingredients. It's a really good quality makeup, but the pigmentation. These cream sticks are about 40% pigmentation. Saint is 80% pigmentation, so it's still twice as much pigment, and they're $16. Those two are not. And so if you're looking for something that's wallet friendly, so you can get a lot of things for a little, that's really nice. But you could fill a palette for the same price as one or two of these other items. That's great. So if you have a foundation that you like, if you have a concealer, add balm to your concealer, put it on to prep, and then add your concealer. You'll love it. But you could create a nice small palette of just great creams that work really well with your traditional makeup. It can be done. And using a good cream also works really well with your changing skin. It's just finding what your skin responds to. Your skin will tell you when it likes something, and your skin will tell you when it doesn't. But how you feel when you look at yourself in the mirror is kind of what tells you. I always liked makeup, playing with makeup, the ritual of makeup. I love the look of makeup, but I like Saint more. And that's what changed the game for me, is I liked it more. So that's it. I will be back. This is a nice 1 hour. I did pretty dang good. I'm less than an hour and I'm done. I don't know when the last time I did that was, but we did it. A full face in under an hour with all my chatter. All my chowder. Okay, so that's it. I will be back next Monday with another live, and then I'll have some videos coming out, but keep your eyes on my channel. Follow, subscribe, notifications, all the things, because yes, there will be something coming out next weekend. Yes, I will be creating little videos through the week, and just stay checking here. And that's it. Have a great day.